Hi everyone, it's Aya. For my first video, I thought that I would start talking about so many of the things that are going on right now in the sky, namely tomorrow's eclipse. Today I'm filming this video on July 4th, but tomorrow we have a very powerful second lunar eclipse in Cancer. And I feel that this is a lunar eclipse in a lot of ways that there's no going back afterwards. It's not something I can fully articulate yet. But again, I feel compelled by the moon to talk about the moon and my experiences with the moon, all of course with the understanding of the lunar eclipse happening tomorrow. So again, very powerful, compelling energies out there that can be difficult to articulate and difficult to understand, but needless to say, I will fumble for my words as best I can here. So what I have here up on our shared screen that you can see is I have two other interpretations of the moon card. You may be familiar with the Rider-Waite interpretation of the moon card. We have it, it has a dog and a wolf on either side, moon at the top in the middle, fairly somewhat similar to the two cards that I have here, but I've brought these two up because I really love looking at other interpretations of tarot cards and other interpretations of anything by other people, and particularly for these two. These are two pieces done by artists. I don't believe these are pieces done in like a complete tarot set or anything like that, just individual requests or kind of one-offs. But anyways, I thought that these two images really captured a lot more than the Rider-Waite image does. And I'm sure if you're someone who's particularly visual or particularly interested in the arts, you may also appreciate a wider understanding and visual interpretation of these thoughts and images. So to start, on the left side here, that's the kind of yellow and blue smaller card. That image is done by Vera, Petruk, Samiramay, and that work can be found. The link to that I'll post in the comments below the video. And then the second image here on the right, the black and white image, this is done by Karl McNaught in 2019. And again, I'll link his website and content below. So I want to start off with the image on the left here, again with the large kind of moon. This is a colored card, very colored but worn. You can see a kind of a nautical theme that we have around the edges here with the rope. We also have Aquarius and Pisces being represented here. Now, of course, the moon is Cancer's card. But we have other tarot, or pardon me, other astrological signs here, which I think is quite interesting. And what I really like about this particular image is the tightrope walker on the kind of going between the two towers at the back. Now I find that to be just very interesting in terms of the moon and things that are going on right now. So again, we have this going back and forth, and again, that's such a duality that we see everywhere. And I mean, in the light of the moon, we would think of that more as going between the worlds of waking and sleep, danger and safety, dreams and nightmares. There's a lot of that duality. And admittedly, the moon card and kind of the moon concepts are concepts that have been harder for me to kind of negotiate and get through. I've always found the moon and kind of moon energies to be very deceptive and very hard to hold and difficult. I'm someone with a lot more Leo placements, so of course the sun loves the moon. It always will, and the sun will always be interested and fascinated by the moon. So again, if you have any strong Leo or fire placements, you may find the moon or people with strong water moon energy to be captivating in a way that's, again, hard to articulate and may kind of make you lose your words when you try to perhaps talk to them, or even when you're thinking about them. But again, I see this back to the card here with our tightrope walker, again, going in between the worlds of waking and sleeping, the ship in the middle. There's a journey, there's a pathway in front of us. And if you think of the ocean itself as a pathway, if you think about all the various routes you can take on the ocean, it's quite overwhelming. And that's another feeling that I get if I draw the moon card in my spreads, or if I'm presented with a lot of moon energy. It's very overwhelming. It's very undirected, I find, but very strong. It's much more of a feeling and a sensation than perhaps, again, words or things that can be really articulately expressed without too much effort. So I really like this image here. I think it's just providing more clarity on what the moon does and what it's doing. I think it's because, again, we see the moon in the sky, whenever we look up and it's out, and the sky, of course, is clear enough, and we see it and we kind of think, okay, there it is, and we let it go. I think it needs more attention, and I think it's demanding more attention. And of course, the moon represents our feelings, the divine feminine, motherhood, all of these connections that we all have, but connections that can be quite difficult and quite painful. Another aspect of the duality that I see in this card is the distinctions between order and chaos, and as well sanity and insanity. When you're talking about the moon, we can't ignore the cultural references to people being lunatics, people being made crazy by the moon or unwell by the moon. Of course, I believe that some individuals are simply sensitive to the moon cycles, and I'm not, of course, prescribing or diagnosing anyone with any kind of condition out there. But it's that, again, that tightrope between order and chaos, sanity and insanity. And I think at times like this, with the difficulties in the world, we maybe begin to feel how narrow that tightrope is really under our feet. It's that delicate balancing act that we're all doing between logic and emotions, things that we want to do, things that we want to, things that we want to do and things that we need to do. There's much more balance and much more of a flow of the tides with kind of moon tarot card and moon influences than I think I had ever thought before. And the more that I understand the cycles of the moon, the phases of the moon, how emotions are, they come and go. Feelings can be seasons, feelings can be reasons, but sometimes they come and go. And if you are someone who perhaps holds on to things a little bit more tightly, moon card or kind of moon concepts could be a little bit more challenging for you to approach. But again, I encourage you to look at multiple interpretations and really meditate on the moon. Perhaps during the eclipse, you could do that and perhaps find some clarity there. And so to move on now to the card on the other side here, the black and white one on the right side, this is one that jumped out to me first. This one strikes me a little bit more than the one that I just talked about on the left. What I really like about this one is it really is like a stylized woodblock cutting. It looks quite intricate. Again, this is an artist's rendering. I don't believe it's a card or real card in a set anywhere to my knowledge. But what I like here is that this image is really focusing on the home. Cancer, the moon, the home, motherhood, these are all, of course, closely connected and intricate ideas. And what we have here is we can, to go through the image, to start at the bottom, we have it labeled the moon. We have some very detailed, ornate, fine, delicate, almost quilting. You can think of, again, all the, again, they are stereotypical, but stereotypical feminine pastimes of crocheting or sewing or needlepoint. Those all those kind of homemaking activities come up for me in this card. Also, we can see the moon reflected on the path in front, and that path in front, and so the path I'm talking about, it's just the it just looks like a path, and it kind of looks like water as well. So again, very deceptive. What is ground, what is water, what's up, what's down. These are all moon moon traits, of course, which can be difficult at times to really hold on to. So again, we have that reflected there, which even again creates that duality and that doubling of, again, what's reality and illusion, deception and manipulation. All of these ideas come up as well. And we have the home here in the background. And that's at least what I interpret kind of these castles here, or these kind of spires as. It looks like a home to me. And what I really like about this image is it makes me think about, what is the home like at night? I think that's a really interesting thought, because our home during the day is, of course, one thing. Perhaps we're getting ready, going to work, maybe we're working from home, doing all those things. Daily activities with the sun are very different than nightly activities with the moon. So I do encourage you to think about, what's your home like during the day, and what's your home like during the night? Is there a duality? Is there a contrast? I think for some people out there, it might be pretty similar. Day and night may be fairly similar to them. But to others out there, perhaps in more difficult domestic situations, night is very different. Night can be very scary. Night can be very unpredictable. And when you have that level of unpredictability in your home, it becomes a nightmare, right? These are all moon concepts, again, that we're coming back to. So again, I encourage you, think about, what's your home like during the day and what's your home like during the night. Is there anything you can do to, again, help heal those situations or help things move more smoothly? The Cancer advice might be to rest, or to talk openly about your feelings, with your family and with people that you love. So there certainly is a way, I think, to approach it, and really get some answers and clarity there. As well, with those same spires, I see those kind of circles on each side, and to me they look like eyes. And again, that's why this is a card, and maybe you felt this before as well with either some tarot cards or other esoteric materials, is that sometimes you feel like they're looking back at you. And I always feel like the moon is looking at me, and sometimes it's a little uncomfortable because it's a very, again, very mothering, very warm, but also very penetrating. And there is no escape from the moon, right? The sun always rises, the moon always rises too. These cycles are continuing with or without us, which is kind of scary. But of course, that's just how the world works. And again, I see these eyes, right? So the thought of your home looking at you, or looking into your home. What does your home look like? Again, there's a lot of home ideas and home thoughts that come up for me with this card. And I think the last thing that I want to touch on with this card is the shape created in the sky. And so that is supposed to be the moon up there. Of course, it kind of looks like the sun with all the rays coming off of it, but it is in fact the moon. And with the sky, the shape that it forms around there, it kind of looks like a heart, right? And I think, again, when you see these images in cards, or whatever you happen to be looking at, these types of intuitive messages, just let them come. Just let them, just pour into you, and you can filter and refine, all during your own time, perhaps during meditation, or whatever you consider to be a restorative or meditative type of practice. But yeah, I do overall see, love is what's really at the deepest part of the moon, beyond all the confusion, beyond all the deception, beyond the illusions, beyond the pain, beyond the doubt and anxiety. There is a love there. It can be hard to feel because it's of course not always there. It's not consistent like the sun, but it is there. And I really want folks to think about that, to think about the love and the hope that is there. Just before I started filming this video, I happened to be looking through quite a lot of my things. I just moved recently and I have not fully unpacked. And I was looking for something, and I came across a wide range of thank you cards and birthday cards and all these cards that I stow away. And I didn't expect to find them, and I didn't expect to find so many. But again, it's in these difficult moments, I think, that there are little things that we can be thankful for and remember the love that we had with others, even if they're here or if they're not. that love and those connections are always real. And I really think that that's one of the truer messages of the tarot cards, or the moon tarot card, or one of the more clear messages coming in to me for me to share with you right now. So with that, I hope that you found this to be an informative video. Let me know your thoughts. Please leave a comment if you feel so inclined, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.